Click subscribe to get latest news and don't forget to press the bell icon.
A top congressional analyst warns that the mainstream media is downplaying the North Korean threat by focusing solely on their ballistic missile program. Dr. Peter Vincent Price, the executive director of the privately operated Task Force on National and Homeland Security, as well as the chief of staff for the Congressional EMP Commission. Dr. Price recently appeared on the Aaron Klein investigative radio show to discuss the North Korean satellites in orbit above the United States, satellites which are capable of destroying life in our country as we know it. EMP, short for electromagnetic pulse, is a burst of electromagnetic energy capable of disrupting all electronic equipment within its range. EMPs occur naturally, but modern weapon systems are able to reproduce their devastating effects. The debilitating power of EMPs is often overlooked in the mainstream media. Dr. Price, an expert in electromagnetic weapons, warned of the damage that we would incur should we suffer an EMP attack. If North Korea were able to successfully launch an EMP attack in the United States, it could render all of our communication, transportation, and all other civilian infrastructure useless in an instant. A successful EMP would wipe out all unprotected electronics. Our refrigerators and freezers would instantly stop working, preventing us from storing food. Additionally, we would lose the ability to heat or cool our houses. Perishable items would quickly wither away. It would be devastating, millions of lives would be lost. We would be sent back to the early 19th century, and we'd be without any of the tools required to cope with an analog lifestyle. Dr. Price explains that the mainstream media's focus on North Korea's conventional ballistic missiles caused them to miss North Korea's progress towards an EMP attack capability. Dr. Price says North Korea developed their EMP strategy based on an earlier set of tactics developed by the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Those tactics involved disguising an EMP weapon as a satellite in order to trick America's radar operators. According to Dr. Price, North Korea already has satellites in orbit above the United States. They are positioning themselves as sort of a nuclear missile age, cyber age version of the battleship diplomacy in my view. So that they can always have one of their satellites very close to being over the United States or over the United States, Dr. Price explained. Then if a crisis comes up and if we decide to attack North Korea, Kim Jong-un can threaten our president and say, well, don't do that because we are going to burn your whole country down. North Korea may be able to successfully launch an EMP attack in the United States. Are we prepared for this? Many mainstream media journalists brushed these threats aside, suggesting that North Korea has not developed a re-entry mechanism that would allow their missiles to reach an American city. However, according to Dr. Price, such a mechanism would not be required to launch an EMP attack. Additionally, Dr. Price explained that what many considered a failed missile test from North Korea earlier this year was actually successful, if you take for granted that the communist regime was testing an EMP attack. The April 29 missile launch looks suspiciously like practice for an EMP attack. The missile was fired on a lofted trajectory, to maximize, not range, but climbing to high altitude as quickly as possible, where it was successfully fused and detonated, testing everything but an actual nuclear warhead.